Hello everyone. I am Nancy Thompson with Create with Nancy, and I'm coming to you today from Skaneateles, New York, and I'm an independent demonstrator, and I love to share creativity with you, with others. So if you're joining in, come on in and say hello. Let me know where you're from if you're new to my channel. If you love watercoloring, today we're talking about watercoloring. I need to just fix something on my thing. Okay. So hi Gail, welcome. So watercoloring. I don't watercolor nearly enough. So today we're going to do a simple watercoloring. I don't know everything about watercoloring, but I'm going to share my tips with you that I know today. So, hi Ellen, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Let's see. We are using the Stylish Sketches Celebration stamp set today. And it's a fun set. It's an easy set that you can watercolor with. And you really don't need a ton of supplies. You can just watercolor with your ink pads, or you can watercolor with pencils, watercolor pencils, and we have a couple collections of those. Hi Gail, welcome back again. I'm glad you're here. And Anne, welcome. Good afternoon. I feel like I'm parched today. I've been out working in the outside today, and I'm parched. I gotta take a drink here. I feel dehydrated. I've been weeding this morning and doing chicken duty, doing things with the chickens, and our chickens are growing like weeds. They're finally starting to lay really well. So we're getting at least, I don't know, probably an average of 16 eggs a day, which is really exciting. Hi Betty, welcome. I'm glad to see you here. And so let's get started, because I do have a lot to share with you today. So let's do this right here, okay? So in case you don't have your own copy of the Celebration catalog or the mini, make sure you reach out to me and let me know that you want to. If you're local to me, you can stop by and grab a mini catalog off the patio. If you're not working with another demonstrator, I'll be happy to send one in the mail to you. Okay, so there's lots of fun things in there. So today's celebration set is right here on page 9 of the Celebration catalog, and it's Stylish Sketches, and they do give some really cute examples on watercoloring. So they're using the pencils and our water painters as well. So I want to show you. So we are using the watercolor pencils, and let me see if I can zoom in a little bit more for you guys. Okay, our watercolor pencils, I can't talk today, are on page 126 of our 2022 to 2023 annual catalog. Okay, there's two assortments, assortment 1 and assortment 2, and I don't know, this is assortment 2. It's the more updated version. This is an older set because these have lasted me a long time. So this is watercolor assortment 1, and there's on the back, it shows you the colors that are included in it, which I really love to help you distinguish what color you're using. Okay, hi Angela and Colleen, welcome. You need to stop by. Yes, because I have a whole bag for you, Colleen, of various stuff. And I haven't been your way, so maybe soon. Okay, so these are the pencils we're using. And the other tool that are great to watercolor with is on page 129 of our annual catalog. And that's where you find our water painters, which are these. And there's 3 of them in here. And one is a really smaller size tip. I gotta make sure you guys can see me. Can you see this here? Maybe I need some black cardstock or something darker. There we go. Okay, so it's a smaller type brush. Okay, we're gonna use that one today. And then there's like a bigger brush tip. Maybe I should go like this. Okay. There we go. So it's a little bit thicker and longer, okay? And then they have this really cool flat one, which is really, really nice when you're doing like a whole background of watercoloring. So really great variety. Because we only used to have two sizes before, like a small and the medium size one. But the other tip I want to talk to you about is these screw off opposite of what you think, okay? Normally it's righty tighty, lefty, I don't know, however that sounds. Usually we screw it to the right, but this time you twirl it to the right to unscrew it, and then it goes back to the left to tighten it up, okay? So it's just the opposite. You'll know because it's not budging, okay, when it goes that way. So so just keep that in mind and remember, because I hadn't used these in a while. I kind of forgot about it. So, okay, Gal just ordered today and got her stylish sketches. Cool, cool. Okay, so, and the other thing that you're going to want to know about watercoloring is stays on ink, okay, is a must with water, okay. This is a permanent ink. It's a solvent ink. And it should not bleed, so you want to sometimes let it dry a little bit, but it should not bleed when you're watercoloring, okay? You do not want to use memento ink, okay? Because this is a water-based ink, all right? And this is what you want to use with your Stampin' Blends, okay? The blend, the alcohol markers, okay? So that's the difference, okay? Water-based ink with the permanent ink, which is the blends. Permanent ink with a water type ink that you're using, okay? So it's always the opposite. One is permanent and one is soluble, and you cannot have two permanents and two solubles together, okay? All right, so yes, because you do not want to use StazOn with your blends either, because they will interact with each other and that will not be good at all. So, hey Donna, I'm glad you're here. Yay. And Betty, thanks for joining in, and Sharon. Okay, so let's get some watercoloring going here. So I've, you know what? Let me put down a piece of grid paper here. I think that's clean. All right, and I forgot a paper towel. Hang on. I knew there was something I forgot. I like to have a piece of paper towel with me, okay? It's just because when you're using your water painters, you're going to want to clean your brush, your painters, okay? So I've already stamped this with StazOn ink, okay? And we're going to do one card with pencils and another one with ink, so we can see the versatility, okay? So with the pencils, I pretty much are gonna, on these berries here, I'm doing the highlights, and then because I want really a deep color, I might lightly shade in the rest, just so I get a nice bright berry, okay? And then we're going to add some brown here and to the stem there, and then some crushed curry highlights along in here, okay? And there we go, we'll do that. And then Old Olive, we will let's add some deep lines here on the leaves, okay, for some highlights. And watercoloring really doesn't take that long to do. And I'm using watercolor paper too, because it stands up to it stands up to adding lots of water to it. You can use white cardstock, but you do want to be careful about that you don't put too much water on it, because it's going to pill. Okay, I'm going to just squeeze a little bit of water, so this is pretty wet. And let's just start with these berries. So our watercolor pencils are really great. The pencils just kind of melt, I think. They just melt away. You know, it just dissolves really nice. And to clean your brush, first of all I do that, and then I squeeze it to make sure that my brush tip is clean as well before I go on to the next color. So let's do these yellow highlights here, and I was kind of messy here in drawing, but that's what watercoloring is about, right? Is that kind of abstract look. I guess it would be abstract, you know, wispy type look here. Okay, all right, so let's see here. So let's clean the brush again, and let's move on to our leaves here. You know what, I think I'm gonna just lightly color the leaves just a little bit too in between, just so that they're a little darker. Okay, and we'll just blend this around. This is how quick this is. And I don't know if you guys can see this, just kind of like those dark lines are just kind of disappearing. It's like they melt away. We used to carry watercolor crayons, and I love those too. Those would really just kind of melt away. Okay, and I think it's okay if we don't clean it. All right, so we got that all done for us. Okay, all right, so I'm gonna let this dry for a minute, and we're gonna go on to one other one. I'm not like, we're going to, I gotta find my piece of scrap here. I'm gonna stamp this. So that was like for my second card. So I don't know what I was thinking here, but let's go back to our first card. Okay, I should have done ink with that. So we're gonna just stamp here, and I'll show you the difference. So the other thing about our StazOn, okay, you do need a StazOn cleaner to clean off your rubber. Okay, just using like your chamois or your scrubber just isn't going to be enough, because this is a solvent ink, so it's a permanent ink, so it could permanently stain on there. And I highly would recommend to not use StazOn with your photopolymer stamps as well, because the makeup of photopolymer could react with the ink and maybe kind of like dissolve some of the stamp a little bit too. So I wouldn't recommend using StazOn with photopolymer. If you do, clean it right away, wash it, clean it under water, everything, like stamp and go clean it. Okay, you do not want that ink sitting on your stamp for any periods of time, especially if you use the cleaner. But look how this just kind of dissolves this away. Okay, it just kind of, it will eat it away, dissolve it. And let's just kind of clean this up. Look how nice that comes up. My chamois is a little wet. Okay, but look how clean that made it. I'm gonna make sure I'm in the camera here. I feel like I'm opposite here today. All right, there we go. Okay, so so if you really have some stained stamps, StazOn cleaner will take it right off. If it drives you nuts to have that, you know, stained look on your stamps all the time. Okay, so I guess let's just go ahead and we'll do this with ink pads. Okay, so normally what you could do, you could pop a little ink refill in your lid, or you can squeeze your case like this gently, and it will pool up in the center. So if you're using a ton of ink, you may want to just drop a re-inker in there, and just a little bit, and just move it along. So if you're coloring on cardstock, I wouldn't have too wet of a brush. Okay, just keep it kind of just moist enough to move that ink and add some color. Okay, let's make these pool party. So we're just going to add some of this. We'll do these berries next. Okay, I don't know what kind. These kind of remind me of, like, I don't know, boysenberries, or maybe they're figs. I really don't know. I don't know what kind of thing it is. Let's add some old olive here. So see, if you have a ton, you can kind of like work your way out with it as well to lighten it up a little bit. And so it's not so deep and intense, especially if you're using an ink refill. You might want to just kind of tone it down a little bit by moving the water. Just add, you know, the water in the pen tip will help tone it down some. Okay. All right. Look how quick this is. There we go. Okay. Let's clean that. And I got one more color. Got a whole bunch of colors here. Let's add some highlights here, kind of where these squiggles are. Okay. I think I'm in the picture. I have a different setup today, so hopefully you guys can see everything okay. Okay, hi Sally. Welcome. And Linda. Yes. All right, I'm glad you're taking a break from wedding duties. Okay, it's a good idea to use watercolor paper, or Gail's asking, is it good to use watercolor paper or regular cardstock? I think a lot depends on what you're doing. If you're like this simple coloring, basic cardstock is gonna work, okay? Something simple. But if you're doing like this whole scenery where you really want to add layer upon layer of watercoloring, I would then really highly recommend using some watercolor paper, okay? Because it's going to hold up to that watercolor. The watercolor paper is meant to absorb water and everything. So we're going to use this new punch, you know, and I don't have the name labeled, but it's in our annual catalog and I love it. It fits a lot of these images and it's just so easy to punch, and it kind of gives you that scalloped look for a simple layer. Okay. All right. So let's get making a card. So I'm going to just set that aside and that for right now. Now, another way we're going to do some fun things with this embossing folder, and I put an ink pad away. So we need early espresso. And how many of you have ever done this where you've added ink to your folder? Okay. And I gotta just think which one. You want it on the bottom side, not the top side with the Stampin' Up! Logo. You want it here. And my poor embossing folder really has had the run through. So we are going to pull in. I forgot to get this all set up and ready. We're going to need platform 1, okay, and platform number 4, all right? We're going to take our embossing folder, and we're going to take our ink pad, and we're going to just dab directly onto the embossing folder. And am I on the right side? Oh, I'm on the wrong side. That's okay, because it's going to get covered. So you want to just kind of tap lightly, because you don't want it like to go down into the flat part. You really are adding ink to the raised part of your folder. Okay, so I think we got that covered pretty darn good. And where's my piece of cardstock that we're using here? Let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay, we're going to take a piece of this early espresso, and we are just going to lay it into our folder, close it up, put it in our sandwich, okay, and crank it through. This is a 3D embossing folder. It's in the annual catalog, and it's twigs and sprigs. So let me just move this out of the way. Here we go. So wait till you see this magic. So this was the other side. So it's kind of good the side that we did both ones. So this one kind of, I didn't add too much ink, but this is the side that I want. Look at how that looks. And then that was the other side. It would be more on this flatter part if I inked it up more, but I love this. This is the debossed side, and it presses in that ink down into the cardstock. So that's a fun way. And then because this is water soluble ink, I just take it to the sink, rinse it off. Okay, and we'll do that. I'll do that after the live. Okay. Okay. So we're going to add this onto here, and I need some adhesive here. So let's add this together. And we're also pulling in the Saleabration, what do I want to call them? I need to remember what they're called. Let's see here. They are the Pool Party and Soft Seafoam cards and envelopes. We're also using those today. So the Pool Party, you're going to get 20 envelopes, okay? They've got a printed inside and this gorgeous white impression on the envelope. There's a little, let's see here. There's some white stamping here, and then look at this envelope flap here. It looks absolutely gorgeous. There we go. I don't know if my light is too bright today or what. Let's see if this looks better without the light. Nah, we'll do that. Maybe tone it down a little bit. Okay. So let's look at things. All right, so those are the envelopes, and then you're going to get 10 of the soft seafoam design and 10 of the Pool Party design as well. So those are pretty sweet. That's a $50 choice right there. Okay, so we are going to use the soft seafoam design. Okay. It also coordinates with that Splendid Day suite of products that I've been using. So, so there's that. Now I've already taken this ribbon here. It's called Natural Finish Ribbon, and it's just so soft and supple that it would tie nice. But I just like using like a little hint of it. I've already tied this piece of twine around it, okay? And we're going to just attach it to the back side of our card. So let's do this. I'm going to just take a little bit and fold it over, okay? And you can attach it here and tie it, but I really wanted to tie this before I went live. Now let's flag our end. To flag the end, remember that you're just gonna fold your ribbon in half and let the two sides meet, and then cut it at an angle, okay? However deep you want. And then it gives you a really nice flagged end, okay? I'm gonna just add a little bit of adhesive here, you know, about an inch, just to kind of hold this down a little bit in place, okay? So let's, we're going to add this to our card base with some dimensionals. So let's do that. And just do this. And this is Pear Pizzazz cardstock here that I'm using. So I'm going to just kind of do this upper right corner, left corner. And then we're going to add some dimensionals to this. And I like to use these skinnier side pieces for this next part. So I'm going to just kind of do this along the side. I think this will be okay. Perfect. All right. Because I don't want a lot to bump up. So there we go. All right, see how easy that was? Simple and simple. You love the idea with the ribbon. Oh, good. Yeah, it's just kind of like, you know, it just adds that little bit versus just a plain piece, that just tying that around there. Wasn't too hard to do. Okay, so what are we doing this? I'm crooked though, guys. Every one of my samples was like that. There we go. I think that's better. So we're going to add from the greeting, Celebrating You, okay, this stamp set. I love this just for you because I love just generic cards, you know, just because you can add whatever you want inside afterwards. At least then this is all set and done. Okay, doesn't that look sweet? Just that simple little greeting there. It could be happy birthday or whatever you would like. All right, so there's our first card, but let's add a little bit of bling to it. Let's add these butterflies, these brass butterflies. I think that's just like the perfect little touch here to finish this off. We'll just add one there and another one here. And I guess let's add one more down here, okay? So we'll just do that. Simple and easy. It's just a nice soft thing. So here's our envelope and card. Not just a sweet little simple kind of design to create, but you could really add any type of embellishment. So just adding something like this, use whatever embossing folder you like, would work great. Okay, so let me show you an example with the pool party here. So there's that. What did I use for that? I think I used ink on this one. So these are both ink examples. So the same thing, I just changed the background. I use soft sea foam matte there instead. I just like the pop of the Pear Pizzazz cardstock on this. So okay, so there's card number one. All right, so let's move on to another one. Okay, let's go back and use this, and hopefully I see my parts and pieces here that I need. I don't see my mats. Hang on. Let's see here. I might need to cut a piece of cardstock. I thought I had it. Things might have disappeared here on my desk here. I'll probably find it afterwards, right? Isn't that the way it goes? Okay, so I need a mat for this. So let's see. This was 2 by 2.5. And I want soft sea foam. So 2 1/8. 2 5/8. There we go. Okay. Good thing I have extra stuff sitting here next to me. All right, so let's add this onto here. Remember, this was done with the watercolor paper. So it's a little bit thicker. Here we go. We've matted that. And we're going to make a note card this time, okay? So I need a note card. And let's fold this so I know where that crease is. And this is from this paper is from the Splendid Day. I love this paper. This top row is all the shiny stuff, and then the bottom row is just, you know, plain finished designer paper. I don't know what I got on there. And it's just so shiny, you know, like there's a pink hue and kind of like a golden hue, copper, kind of like a rosy color, silver, and then this mint green here, which I think is just absolutely gorgeous. And this is embossed, so it's really cool. Okay, so let's add, might be running out of tape here, but I have a refill on my desk just in case. So you could use liquid glue if you wanted to. So I'm going to start with the fold. Okay. And then we're going to tie on some ribbon. This is our new ribbon in our mini catalog. It's gold ribbon with like this hint of gold metallic in it. It's just really pretty. So we're going to make a bow. All right. So let's make sure we leave enough here for a bow. Let's do this. Oh, and I gotta remember to stamp a greeting on this too. This is a simple card, really. And it could be a, you know, even if you like this layout, it could be a die cut image, or just watercoloring that image was really, really simple. And you saw that it could be either white cardstock or watercolor paper. Okay, we're going to add the word hello to this before we mount this. Let's just add it down here. Okay, just a simple hello card. What did this one come out of? This one came out of Go-To Greetings. Okay, I love this because it's just got all this, you know, so much. Just a note, thank you, thinking of you in different size fonts. Really, really nice set. Okay, so we're going to just simply add this on with some dimensionals. All right, and let's do this. So wait till you see how we're going to watercolor the fox next, okay? Because it took me several tries to kind of come up with a color combo that I was happy with. I'm not sure if it's perfect, but so let's just kind of center this like right there. What do you guys think? Does that look nice or what? Let me make sure we're in the frame. Let's do this, okay? And let me just grab, I got an envelope already done. Isn't that sweet? And I added designer paper to the envelope. So sweet little card. All right, isn't that pretty? Thanks, Sharon. Okay, so let's look at our fox here. Okay, you guys are gonna kind of see my first attempts, and I just kind of play around with the watercolor paper. So it comes in, it's called Fluid 100, and how many sheets do we get in this? I don't know. Does it say? I think it says on here. There's 10 sheets of watercolor paper. And this is kind of like the insert that comes in this package. And this is watercolor paper too. So this is a great way to practice what you're going to do before you stamp on your good stuff. And I even save these for now because like this is a scrap, but it's great when you want to just practice with some colored inks to see what color it's going to come out or whatever. So save a few scraps around, you know, to play with. And this is how I cut my pieces. There was just perfectly enough there for me to make my size that I wanted for my card front. So don't discount the scraps here. All right, so I'll put that away later, but yeah, definitely use this as to practice on. Okay, so here was, let me think here. I thought I had another one. I guess not. I kind of started with this one first. I use Cajun Craze ink, and I think I added in maybe Early Espresso. Definitely was not happy with this color fox. It looks really, really orange. And then I played around again here, and I was just kind of playing around with trying to get like some highlights around him too, and everything. So I was starting to get a little bit better with what I wanted to, the outcome I wanted to do. So okay, so so don't forget to give me like hearts and likes as we're stamping here today, because that really helps Facebook to let them know that you really love what you're seeing. So okay, so remember, we're using StazOn ink, okay, because we're going to watercolor. And on the other thing with StazOn, it comes with this clear this plastic lid, you do not want to throw this out. This is what helps keep your ink pad moist, okay? So you could put like a dimensional on there to kind of secure it to it so it's not flapping all over, but I just, I don't know, I haven't got to that point. So let's ink this up, and you always want to get a refill too, because they do dry out for, you know, kind of depends on how quickly you use it. All right, so let's stamp our fox here. Okay, I'm going to press a little bit longer than normal, and there we go. I think my ink pad might need to be re-inked again. He looks a little light in here. Okay, so what did I decide to do? So we're going to, let me move some things out of the way. We're going to use crumb cake, I gotta look at my sample here, some old olive and Cajun craze and pool party. So those are our colors that we're going to use. So let's just plop these open a little bit so we've got some colors to use. And we'll leave that. So are we in the picture here? Let's just put down this here. And should I zoom in more, guys? Let me zoom in more so you can see the Mr. Fox here. There we go. All right, so let's grab our water painter, our paper towel, and we're first going to put a base coat of, or you know what? No, I don't want to do that. I'm going to just do some highlights where I want some of that orange to come through, okay? So I'm just going to kind of do some highlights so he looks more like a red fox, okay? I want a few in here, and you can always go back and add more color, and that's the beauty of using watercolor paper. Okay, so we've got some orange highlights in there, okay? Yes, Linda. Linda is so true. Anybody who sews knows how to make the most out of cutting up your cardstock. That's right. So let's just, and I'm going to add a little bit of water to kind of get this moving. And I should have added some more ink to that as well. So we'll just kind of, when you're watercoloring, it will, sometimes you can also kind of add like a base of water on here too. Just kind of squeeze your pen so that way the ink will start to flow, which I should have done, so that Cajun craze will move around. This might not be the best job here, guys. Okay, let's do this. I think I need to squeeze this. I should have grabbed my refill. I took them all off my desk here. There we go. Let's add some more. Just try to get this to blend in a little bit more. I almost want to start over. Yeah, this is not the best job here, guys. Okay, because I should have put a base of water down. And I didn't. You know what? I want to start over. Hang on. Let me grab another piece here. Let's just start over because he looks awful. Let's make sure this is inked up good. Remember, it's just ink and cardstock, so that's the beauty of it. All right, so let's tone this down a little bit. Okay, I just squeezed some water into my lid here, so I'm just kind of toning it down so it's not so intense. Okay, so I think that's maybe what I did before, just so it's not so intense. And if we needed to, we can go back and add more. Okay, so let's add some more crumb cake here. And let me grab my refill, guys. Okay, here we go. We need a refill to put a drop into here. Okay. So that way we can tone this down quite a bit. So I squeezed out a little bit of water, you know, probably a couple drops. And maybe a little bit more, because I don't want it to be so intense. Let me make sure we're in the shot here. And I didn't put water down again. Okay, this one's looking a little better. He's getting more of that orangey, reddish look. And sometimes it helps to kind of like let it dry in between coats too. So that way it gives it time for things to, you know, absorb. So, ooh, I'm not sure if this is good. So I'm going to take this Pool Party. Didn't clean my brush too good. And I'm just going to, actually I'm going to kind of like wet the background a little bit and then go back in with some Pool Party. Okay. Yeah, that marker was a little, and that helps kind of like smooth out the ink a little bit. Okay. And then let's add in some Old Olive for the grass here. Okay. So I'm going to squeeze. So I want this to move a little bit more. And watercoloring is just something you have to play around with because there's no right or wrong to it. Okay, there we go. Let me see here. Let me try to move this up for you guys to see. So there's our pretty little fox, okay? Sometimes you might want to let it dry before you kind of like adhere it to your cardstock, a card, you know, whatever you're adhering it to. So let's just set that aside. Yeah, he looks so much better, doesn't he? Than that first little attempt there. So, okay. So let's add this to a piece of crumb cake. Done with that, and I'm going to use lots because he's so wet. I'm going to use lots of adhesive there, and I just got him just a hint on there. All right, I think we're done with that. So we're going to use a note card again. I love note cards. All right, so we'll put, look at that beautiful coppery background. Isn't that pretty? It's too like florally, so I think I like that on there better. All right, so let's add this to the card base. We're going to completely cover this card base. Okay. And we're going to pull in this ribbon again. This ribbon is just gorgeous. So I'm going to cut the length of the, approximately, just a little bit shorter. Okay. I got a new pair of snips out. Oh, they cut so good. So we're going to just kind of unravel this some. Okay. And you just might want to, should have done this ahead of time. Let's see, sometimes it unravels really good and other times it just doesn't. All right, you guys get the gist, right? So we're going to unravel both ends. Come on. Sometimes it just, when you don't want it to, it just unravels like crazy. All right. Let's just say we've unraveled, okay? Let's cut that off. I'll make it prettier afterwards. So let's add this in the center, okay? We'll just add a little bit there. We'll do this. And then, oh, we got to stamp some greetings on here. So, because we're using watercolor, I think I'm going to stamp this in Stays On because it's still kind of wet. Let's make this a happy birthday. I think this would make a great guy birthday card. All right. And we'll add some dimensionals if I can find them. Just grab another pack. Oh, here they are. We'll add some dimensionals to this. And voila. I must have some really old dimensionals because the backside sticks. Kind of take up both pieces and it drives me nuts. Okay. All right. Anybody got questions? The fox is also from the Stylish Sketches, Colleen. So it's this right here. Okay. It's got 3 images. We got the fox, the greenery, and the cute little ducks. And I'm going to show you something like that. Okay, so there's our cue card. And I'll fix this up later. But let me show you my other sample. So I guess he looks pretty good. So just kind of ruffle up your ends here. And there we go. Maybe I did that too much. And, fray them up a little bit. No bling, I think. But I think that'll work great for a guy card. And just, I guess the background looks pretty good, Oh, thanks, Colleen. I'm glad you love it. Okay, so let me, and of course, finish it off with, the envelope flap as well. So really, really cute. Okay. All right, so let's see the duckies in action. So here's the duckies right here. Okay, and I'll post some samples. I got to, I'm behind on the my newsletter because these will be in the newsletter. Maybe these will, I'm trying to start a weekly newsletter. So make sure you subscribe to my newsletter on my blog at createwithnancy.com. Okay. And there's I need to change the host code, but that one's still active. Okay. For June, it'll still be active. So I'll get a July host code up there. Okay, guys, so what else do I need to show you? So yes, so here is that Stylish Sketches. It's a free celebration choice with a $50 order, so really, really great. Remember, the celebration cards are a $50 order as well. So lots of choices for celebration. And did you enjoy the watercoloring? I would love to know if you got something out of this. Okay, did you learn something new? Did it give you some confidence to watercolor today? Okay, so kind of let me know that too, if you enjoyed the watercoloring bit, or do you have watercoloring supplies? So you really only need your aqua painter and your Stays On ink is really what you need. So economical way to watercolor. Okay. Let's see what else. So next week, I'm not sure what we're going to do next week, but so I hope come join me again next Wednesday here at 3 p.m. again for another live, whether you're on Facebook or YouTube, because they're both streamed simultaneously at the same time. So whatever channel you like to watch, come join me, and I hope you have a great week. And the sun's out again, so you good. Oh, good, Ellen. I'm glad you liked it. Okay. Oh, good, and I'm glad that you are are going to give watercoloring a try. Yay. Because it's just, you know, if you don't like how it came out, just stamp it again on another piece of paper. Even if you want to start out with basic white, shimmery white cardstock works well too. That's another option. That's a little bit thicker cardstock than basic white and has that little nice sparkly shimmer to it as well. So, okay, everybody, I've got my stamp club and team meeting this weekend, so lots going on here, and we will see you again soon. And if you need anything, please reach out to me if you want to place an order or you need a catalog. Make sure you come visit or message me. And it's also a great time because it's celebration to join our team, because the starter kit is $99 and there's a great planner as a bonus when you sign up during celebration this month, okay? During July and August. And I will have to next time dig out that planner and show you the planner, what it looks like. It's pretty awesome. So, all right, thanks so much, and I appreciate you. And oh, Donna, I'm glad you learned something. Thanks so much for tuning in. All right, bye-bye, everybody. Have a great week.